Welcome back to today's webinar. As usual, this is a recurrent webinar. This will be a general intro to IBM Bluemix, where I will give you an overview about what Bluemix is and how it can rise your business. And then I will show you a quick demo on the console platform of Bluemix, but it will be not technical. The general overview is a high-level webinar. If you are interested to attend other more technical webinars, I suggest you check the schedule and the website of IBM Cloud Webinars. Where me and my colleagues, we used to deliver webinars with specific topics and showing specific services with for targeting the webinar for developers, showing source code and directly how to develop on Bluemix. So, first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Stefanos Banki. I'm an architectural advisor of the Bluemix team based in Dublin, and I have 10 years of experience in software developing and project management for web application, desktop application, and service-oriented architecture projects. The programming languages where I have deeper knowledge are Java and C# for .NET, but I like programming, learning all new framework and technology, and all the services that are involved in Bluemix for IoT, mobile, and I have the chance to work in a lot of programming languages. I'm very passionate on that. So today's agenda. Today I will explain what Bluemix is and with an overview of the catalog and the architecture of Bluemix, and then I show you the advantages and the pricing model of the Bluemix platform. Furthermore, we will take a tour on the Bluemix console using the web user interface of Bluemix for a quick live demo. And at the end of the presentation, you will have a clear understanding of what IBM can bring to the cloud environment and how Bluemix can help your project to grow and succeed. And at the end, we will have time for your own question. So you can raise the hand, and you can post the question in the question panels. But I will answer to all of the questions at the end of the webinar. And then if you have already the microphone, I'm able to unmute you, and we can chat all together. So Bluemix is a cloud platform which you can use to build, host, develop, manage, and run almost all types of applications, from web, mobile, big data, analytics, Watson, and IoT. When I say mobile, I mean the back-end services that you can call from your client device mobile. Bluemix provides access to a catalog of services which are APIs and access to an infrastructure that allows you to go live and scale rapidly. Bluemix offers several layers of security, DevOps, and on-prem systems integration, all with a flexible pricing model. Then, if we look to the traditional in-house on-premises IT, we see that the organization takes full responsibility for setting up, managing, maintaining, and scaling everything from the backend to the front end. And the organization needs to do this every time that they start a new project. With the cloud business model, the organization may use a service provider for either the infrastructure, platform, or even software, or all of them, depending obviously from the organization size and the IT requirement. In terms of the IBM offer, the organization can use soft layer that is on top of the infrastructure, or Bluemix that is on top of soft layer for the platform. So the infrastructure as a service that are the virtualized, the virtual machines, the virtualized hardware, is the infrastructure as a service offering from IBM, And Bluemix is the platform as a service offering for IBM that is on top of SoftLayer. As an IBM software as a service pure example, we can integrate Bluemix with the DevOps services for the lifecycle management of your project. You have to notice that Bluemix run on top of the SoftLayer infrastructure and on top of open source Cloud Foundry. This is a focal point because it shows that IBM is not locking the customer to any proprietary platform or system, and it's a way for driving the innovation of IBM. And we can say that IBM strongly bets on open source for the cloud business using OpenStack for the infrastructure as a service, OpenStack, and Cloud Foundry for Bluemix. So let's focus quickly on the Bluemix structure and architecture. The SoftLayer is based on virtualized hardware, or rather virtual machine with a container, a Docker container, with a framework and a runtime. Then inside is installed your own application. So each execution environment, including both the backend services that you will host on Bluemix or your own web app, is completely isolated from the execution environment of other applications, even though these apps are on the same virtual machine, and in one physical machine you will have more than one virtual machine. So this is the structure. You have the Docker container. Inside is installed your own application with all the frameworks that you need. For instance, if you have a Node.js application, you will install via npm all the dependencies of your application. If you use Java, for instance, maybe via Maven, you will install all the jar dependencies as well. And inside there is your application. Every time that you run and you push an app on Bluemix, a container is created. And then the container is hosted in a virtual machine, and all the data center of SoftLayer will gather more than one virtual machine. And I will show you later, but you have two ways for working on Bluemix. One is just managing your app, and you will choose your own runtime that you need: Java, Node.js, Python, and so on. The other one is managing your own Docker container, and you will move on top of versus the software, the infrastructure side. The Docker container, if you talk about that, is a technology that is in the middle from the pure platform as a service and the infrastructure as a service. Then the cluster of the servers of the Bluemix infrastructure are available in several regions. Actually, US, EU, GB, and Australia. And you can deploy an application in one region or across multiple regions. More regions will be available soon in the European space and worldwide. Then you can ask for a dedicated instance of Bluemix in any of the SoftLayer data center across the world. And you can build your infrastructure securely connected to both the public Bluemix and your own network. So for recap, three options: public, and public is available in US, EU, and Australia. Dedicated, you will claim your dedicated instance in one of the SoftLayer data center available all over the world. The third option is for big company that want to retain the infrastructure locally. So you will have the customer needs to provide with special requirement the hardware infrastructure, and a dedicated locally custom installation of Bluemix is bring available on customer premise. Plus, you can do what is called the hybrid cloud, integrating public or dedicated services with your own on-premises service. Bluemix is based to a list of services, that is the catalog, and you can choose from a lot of pre-built application, feature, and services. But I will show you better in the live demo how to access to the catalog. These are the sections of the services available. The core, the nutshell, are the runtimes. Plus, over the runtimes, you can choose from a lot of kind of services. For doing integration, hybrid cloud with your own premises, services for web application, data and management, that are the databases, services that could be useful for the mobile backend development, DevOps services for managing the continuous integration and continuous delivery of your project, then security, and Watson Cognitive. But anyway, I will show you directly on the console all the services. Let's talk about the advantages. With Bluemix, the developers can quickly coding and deploy software. Bluemix allows developers the flexibility to choose their own languages and tooling, allow the end user to compose their application of whichever services from IBM, third party, or from the community. We can say that we are still going in a more agile way development. We are still moving from the waterfall linear process based on the separation of the steps of analyze, plan, design, build, test, deploy, and the infinity phase of maintenance, to an agile incremental and cycling process, where you will have the approach for first step of analyzing, then plan, design, build, test, delivery once a small part of your application, then recurrently back to analyzing, plan, design, build, test, and delivery another piece, and so on. And then in terms of scaling, it's very important to know that your application can scale in terms of data, usage, and traffic using controlling and auto-scaled services too from the catalog. From the economical point of view, with Bluemix, we move from CapEx to OpEx, from a system of capital expenditure to an operational expenditure. In capital expenditure, you have fixed cost for assets versus an operational expenditure where all the costs are for ordinary business. So you have no total cost of ownership. So you have not to manage the life cycle of purchase, installation, management, maintenance, and disposal, or all the ET assets, either hardware and software. And in relation with the software development life cycle, Bluemix is integrated with the DevOps services. This is the pure software as a service side, where you can use it for leverage the power of projects, using, for instance, the delivery pipeline, hosting your code on the Bluemix Git GitHub repository, and manage the delivery pipeline with the specific service, like for instance Jira, where you can have an agile approach to your development process, and you can a Scrum Master can assign the story to the teams that are involved on the development process. Okay, then let's take a look to the pricing model. you can start with the sign up for Bluemix to the trial version. It requires a matter of minutes. Then a 30-day free trial, no credit card is required, allow you to experience all the Bluemix has to offer. You can taste all the runtimes, Dockers, all the services, database, and so on. Once after the 30 days, once you're ready to move forward with Bluemix, you can access to the pay-as-you-go model, where you pay what you use, runtime and service, and nothing more. But you have to notice that there is, for each service, there is a free tier. The free tier is how is based the freemium model. If you remain under the free tier, that is the amount of API call for an API connected services, or is the amount of usage of the memory of the virtual machine on top of the runtime, that is the amount of data that we will store in a database. If you remain under the free tier, you are not charged at all. Third option, if you are already on pay-as-you-go, and if you are doing a lot of usage of outside the premium model, but it's good because you have to pay, yes, but it means that your business is still going well, and your app that you have published on Bluemix is very used and popular on the market. You can close the subscription with an amount of credit, and you can have a special discount on the standard rate of the pay-as-you-go price. So let's jump on the console for the demo. This is the Bluemix console. On the right side, on my right-left side, on top, there is the info related with the account. You can switch from region, UK, Sydney, or US. Then there is the entity, this is called organization, that corresponds to my account. You can create as much as organization as you want, and you can invite other people working with you to the organization. This is a kind of way for managing the teamwork. In the trial version, you can only have one organization per account, but once you are passing in pay-as-you-go, you can create as much as organization as you want. Then, inside of each organization, that is you can figure out the organization like a team or a teamwork. You can create the space. The space, you can keep in mind the space like the environment. So probably you will have the development environment, the test environment, and the production environment, or whatever you want. You can create as much as spaces as you want per organization. Once you invite the user, you can give to them a specific grant for an organization, or close to them inside a space, and then you can give to them special grant just for as developer, as a billing agent, as just auditor, as just a reader. So for instance, if you jump inside a space, I can create my own space, call it with webinar. And inside of my space, I can create an app. For instance, a Node.js app. I give a name to the app. And these are the three ways for interact with the platform. Use Eclipse IDE, and then there is a lot of plugins that bring you the chance to interact via directly Eclipse with Bluemix, either working via just the command line interface, Just for instance, you can type, once you download the command line interface, just typing CF or Bluemix. You have a lot of command for push your app and then manage the users and so on. Or the third one is to host the source code of your app on Git GitHub, and then you can manage it with the delivery pipeline services. And once you do from your local environment a commit on the repository, you can start the wave of delivery, and you can set up the delivery pipeline and establish in which environment you want to bring your source code. You can insert a specific shell script or unit test, and maybe leave to the end of bringing production environment the final manual step. In the start coding section, you see the chance to download the Cloud Foundry command line interface, the Bluemix command line interface. Then you can download the starter code of the basic skeleton app that is created. If I open in Finder, it will be this zip here. As you can see, there is a standard Node.js app with the package JSON with all the dependencies, and then there is this manifest YML file. I can, for instance, import in Bluemix in Eclipse as well. This is not Node.js, this is a Java app. So there is the build XML, because you can manage both with the Maven or ANS the dependencies. Then we have the source code and so on. But let's remain on the high-level overview. If I back here and I go to the overview, I can see that now the app is up and running. It is hosted on this domain of mybluemix.net. You can manage your own domain if you are on the owner of a specific domain name. And this is a simple app that do absolutely nothing, saying hello world. It is used, if I take a look here, you can see that we'll use Express. Let me show you in the okay. Then there is the code that is manifest.yml that say to Bluemix and to Cloud Foundry how to use the app. So it says that you have to create an instance of Node.js runtime with the 256 memory of RAM, assigning this quota, on which domain you have to publish the app. Then, once the Docker is created, we use the package JSON for install all the dependencies via npm. This is a typical Express framework web app. And then the app is started. And at the end, what is showed is just the static HTML5 that says just hello world. Okay, that's all. So let's back to the catalog. Here on the catalog, you have a lot of services that you can use, and this is the first section called boilerplates. The boilerplates are a kind of starter kit where you can start for developing with some examples of source code with on a specific runtime, on a specific programming language, with that maybe they are interacting with other services available on Bluemix. For instance, ASP.NET Core Cloud is there is a web app as example from ASP.NET, so is the .NET runtime using ASP.NET 5 that interact with the NoSQL -DB service. The Internet of Things Platform Starter is a starter kit that you can use for an example of a Node.js app that interact with the Watson IoT services. It is a broker, an MQTT broker, plus a cloud database for storing the data sent from the IoT device. And plus, you can leverage and see how it works the Node-RED framework for manage the workflow of your data. And so on. Java Cloud and Web App Starter, for instance, is another example of a Java runtime based on Liberty Profile for Java. That is a light version of Bash. Loopback Starter is a starter kit based on loopback and strong loop for managing the API with the REST API with a specific strong loop framework, where it's based on API that is extended from API Connect service. Mobile First Service Starter is it's a starter kit that will create a Node.js runtime with a few services related with the mobile development, like push notification, mobile like data, mobile quality answer that bring you the chance to collect a feedback about the usage of your own front-end applications. But how it works, because have you seen before when I've created the app, I have two choices to create a web app for mobile or for a web app. Which is the difference? If you create a mobile app, you will always create a backend application exposed on REST, on Bluemix. But you have the chance to create your own, it's created an app ID. What does it mean, an app ID? An app ID is an identificator that you can use to call via a specific SDK that are available for Android, for hybrid environment like Aptana, or mobile first platform. This is the hybrid cloud platform for mobile development of IBM, for iOS as well. So once you have downloaded the specific SDK, you can import it in your client app, your mobile client app, and just calling the SDK, submitting the app ID, you are hiding the REST URL calls to your backend services hosted on Bluemix. Then let's take a look of the runtimes. The runtimes available are, as I say, C# for ASP.NET, Java, Liberty, Swift is the server-side Swift, based on the Linux snapshot of Swift, extended from Mac OS X. Node.js, XSP is the Xpages, extended from the Lotus Dominum, still going in. Is not so much used. Go, PHP, Python, Ruby. Tomcat is a way where you have the chance to use Java as well. Plus, you can use all the community buildback that are available. Or you could create your own buildback as well, because these ones are the official one from community. From community or or, or third party. So you can use Ruby as well, and so on. The first one, this one are the official one. A static file, for instance, if you want just to host in a static website using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you can use the static file build pack. It is based on Nginx web server. Then there is the side of create your own container if you have specific needs. If you want, for instance, expose the service on a specific port, or rather than a URL on a specific IP, a public one, you can do that, but you have to manage your own Docker container. And there is the Watson, there are the Watson services for cognitive purpose, for instance, for doing visual recognition or for doing the conversion of speech to text, on text to speech, for create an automatic chat bot, auto-responder, and so on. There's a lot of feature on that. The mobile section, as I always said, the DevOps services for managing the delivery pipeline and continuous integrations and continuous delivery with delivery pipeline, or the auto scaling that bring you the chance to set policies of and how to scale up and down your app and consume and save money. So for instance, you can scale up when there is a lot of users that's still calling your app, and scale down when there is no need. So you can save the usage of your virtual machine, then money as well. For web application, is a gather of a lot of heterogeneous service. For instance, there are services that help you to support the data caching, message hub that is for hosting via Kafka, for based on message queuing as well. Workload scheduler for doing some batch scheduling process. Then the integration is a very important side where you can maybe, if, for instance, you want to expose a service or a database that you want to retain for privacy issue on your own local network inside of your own premises, you can connect the service with your app hosted on the public Bluemix, so you can retain your own data inside of your company, but you can expose it on your app published on top of the public Bluemix. The data and analytics section are gathered all the database services, classic database entity relational like DashDB, that is a kind of DB2 database that expose some feature for doing business intelligence with R statistics analytics. Cloud and NoSQL, that is a NoSQL based on JSON format database. Plus, with all the offering of Compose that now is acquired from IBM for Elasticsearch, MongoDB, PostgreSQL, RabbitMQ, Redis, and RethinkDB. Plus, there is some open data services that you can call via specific REST or URL API. For instance, inside of Twitter, you can analyze the GNIP database of the Twitters for doing some marketing research, or there is the weather company data that you can analyze related with the weather. That are the open data services. For the security point of view, you can use, for instance, the single sign-on services that is very useful for check the access of your app and secure and manage the security of the access of your app, managing your own SAML directory if you want to retain it on your own app, or you can leverage the feature of external access control services. For instance, if you want to retain and use Facebook account for checking the access of your app, or LinkedIn as well. I don't remember if it's available. And then there is the side of the business analytics for doing analytics and business intelligence and data warehouse. And last but not least, all the Internet of Things services. That the core is the one that I've already talked to you, is the MQTT broker, the Internet of Things platform that now is called Watson Edge. And the API Connect is a kind of, it's based on Strong Blue framework for managing the API REST Explorer of Strong Blue, but is featured with an API designer and an API manager as well. So let's back. Okay, Bluemix question. During the time of the question, I saw already someone of you has answered a few questions. I'll leave my contact details, so you can write me by email, or you can contact me via social networks, and I'm more than happy to answer to all of the questions that you need. And as you see, there is a lot of services on Bluemix, so there's a kind of complexity of that. So first of all, I will thank you, everyone, just because I will close the recorded version of the webinar. So thank you, and bye-bye.